Hey guys, welcome to Y&R Daily Update YouTube channel. Today's topics: Young and the Restless spoilers, January 9th. Jack shocks Victor. Phyllis shocks Kanik is in danger. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Friday, January 9th. See Jack managing to knock Victor off his smug perch, while Phyllis urges Kane to be more like her. Key takeaways Victor doesn't see. Jack coming. Phyllis pushes Kane to go dark. Nick isn't doing well. Next on Y&R Victor. Eric Bredin is the smartest. Victor is the most handsome. Victor is the most manly, and he is always the winner. Nikki, Melody Thomas Scott tried to stand up to his criminal bullying, then quickly folded. Michael Christian LeBlanc tried to stand up to his criminal bullying, then quickly folded. His kids didn't even try very hard. The only person still out there slugging away at the mumbling mustache is Jack Peter Bergman. He also happens to be in the right. We can only hope that the shock Jack has planned for him will bring Victor down once and for all. Bad buddies Lily Crystal Khalil told Kane, Billy Flynn they were over. The words played out may have been uttered. We don't disagree. Lily told Kane to go back to Phyllis, Michelle Stafford. Phyllis would love that. She's already been played by Victor. Kane is her only chance for revenge, and the illusion of still being in control of the situation. So now that Kane is drifting back to the dark, Phyllis is there to urge him to go darker and darker. Now that he's not trying to win back Lily, he can do whatever, right? Leg up Nick. Joshua Morrow is in surgery after being attacked by Matt Roger Howarth. His family is convinced they're now safe from the back from the dead madman. But Matt is the definition of never say die. Nick is still in danger, and, this time, no one may be coming to save him. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. If there's one thing The Young and the Restless does better than almost any other soap, it's orchestrating shocks that don't just surprise, they redefine relationships. According to spoilers for January 9th, Genoa City is bracing for two such moments. Jack Abbott shocks Victor Newman, and Phyllis Summers delivers a shock to Kane Ashby. On the surface, these appear to be separate story beats. In reality, they're two sides of the same thematic coin, power shifting hands in unexpected ways. These shocks aren't about explosions or sudden betrayals. They're about strategy, leverage, and characters finally choosing actions over patterns. And the fallout could linger far beyond a single episode. Jack and Victor, a rivalry that never truly sleeps. The Abbott-Newman rivalry is the backbone of Y&R. Decades of grudges, grudging respect, and cyclical warfare have defined Jack and Victor's relationship. Every time one believes the other is finished, the game resets, often with devastating consequences. What makes the January 9 spoiler compelling is that Jack shocks Victor, not the other way around. That inversion alone signals a meaningful shift. Why Jack's shock matters more this time. Jack has surprised Victor before, but rarely when Victor believed he was fully in control. Recent story developments suggest Victor has been playing chess, several moves ahead, confident, composed, and convinced he's already won. Jack's shock disrupts that certainty. This isn't Jack lashing out emotionally. It's Jack stepping into Victor's blind spot, and doing it deliberately. That's new territory. Jack has learned from past failures. One of Jack Abbott's greatest strengths and weaknesses has been his emotional transparency. Victor has long exploited Jack's impulsiveness, baiting him into confrontations that ultimately leave Jack exposed. But Jack has grown. He's learned when silence is more powerful than rage, when patience is a weapon, when letting Victor believe he's winning is the real advantage. The January 9th shock suggests Jack is applying those lessons at last. What could Jack's shock be? While spoilers remain intentionally vague, the nature of the shock matters less than its impact. Possibilities include a strategic alliance. Victor didn't anticipate information Jack withheld until the perfect momenta. Move that undermines Victor's authority without challenging it directly, whatever form it takes. The shock isn't about humiliation, it's about destabilization, and Victor hates nothing more than losing control. Victor's reaction will be telling. Victor Newman doesn't react to shock with quiet introspection, he reacts with intensity, often masking fear with fury. The January 9th episode may not show Victor's counterattack immediately, but it will show something just as revealing: hesitation. When Victor pauses, the game has changed. Phyllis and Kane, a shock of a different kind, while Jack and Victor's shock plays out in the realm of power and legacy. Phyllis shocking Kane hits on a more personal, volatile level. Phyllis Summers doesn't surprise people by accident. When she shocks someone, it's because she's decided the moment is right to reveal, manipulate, or redefine the narrative. and Kane. Ashby may not be ready for what she's about to unleash. Kane is vulnerable and Phyllis knows that Kane is already in a fragile emotional state. With Lily walking away and his sense of identity shaken, he's ripe for influence. Phyllis thrives in moments like this. She recognizes vulnerability not as something to respect but as an opportunity to gain leverage. Whatever shock she delivers to Kane on January 9, it's almost certainly calculated to hit where it hurts most. Is Phyllis offering an alliance or a trap? One of the most dangerous things Phyllis can do is offer help. Her support often comes with conditions, hidden agendas, future expectations. Phyllis shocks Kane with an offer rather than a threat. The danger may be even greater. Kane's need for validation makes him susceptible to exactly this kind of manipulation. Phyllis' timing is no coincidence. Phyllis doesn't act randomly. Her shock to Kane comes at a moment when Lily is gone. Kane is searching for direction. Power dynamics are shifting. Elsewhere, that timing suggests Phyllis is positioning herself for long-term advantage, not just short-term drama. Kane's reaction could define his arc. Kane's journey of self-discovery, teased by Billy Flynn, will be tested here. Does Kane push back against Phyllis' influence? Fall into old patterns of defensiveness and desperation? Recognize manipulation when it's presented as opportunity? How he responds to Phyllis' shock may reveal whether his growth is real or performative. Two shocks, one theme, power reclaimed. What unites these two storylines is agency. Jack is reclaiming agency from Victor. Phyllis is asserting agency over Kane. In both cases, characters are refusing to remain reactive. They're making moves. That's when Y&R is at its strongest. The ripple effects could be significant. Jack's shock to Victor may shift corporate alliances, force Victor into defensive mode, empower characters who felt sidelined. Phyllis' shock to Kane may accelerate Kane's transformation. New conflicts further strain Lily's eventual return narrative. These shocks aren't contained events, they're catalysts. The Rinse perspective. This episode signals momentum from the Rinse viewpoint. January 9th feels like an episode designed to reset trajectories. Instead of spinning wheels, Y&R is advancing rivalries, character arcs, planting seeds for future fallout. That momentum matters. Why? Fans should watch closely. This episode won't necessarily be loud, but it will be precise. Pay attention to who speaks first, who controls the conversation, who walks away confident hand, who doesn't. Y&R often hides its biggest shifts in quiet exchanges. Victor and Kane, two men facing different kinds of shock. Victor is shocked by an a rival who knows his history. Kane is shocked by a manipulator, someone who sees his weakness. Both shocks challenge identity. Victor's identity as the ultimate power broker, Kane's identity as a man trying to change the outcomes will differ. The impact will be lasting. Phyllis' role as catalyst continues. Phyllis doesn't just participate in storylines, she accelerates them. Her shock to Kane may not be cruel on the surface, but it will be transformative. Phyllis rarely changes people for the better, but she always changes the game. Final thoughts. January 9th is about who controls the narrative. Young and the Restless spoilers for January 9th promise to shocks, but what they really deliver is a narrative reckoning. Jack refuses to let Victor dictate the rules. Phyllis refuses to let Kane drift without purpose. Whether those refusals lead to growth or destruction remains to be seen, but one thing is certain. When characters stop reacting and start choosing, Genoa City never stays the same. And after January 9th, the balance of power, both personal and professional may look very different indeed.